about two different sectors. It's about now two sectors working together and becoming more and more alike and learning from each other. So in summary, I think I have a couple of messages. We have the for business and the not for profits, and we can learn from each other. So what I try to argue is that for business, they can learn by integrating core values into core activities. They can impassion people, and they can manage relationships. For nonprofits, you should think about your competitors, because as much as it is a dirty word in some ways, there's a lot that we can do by raising capacity by offering complementary activities and really fitting the needs of the people that we serve. Ensure your mission is crisp and clear, so that you know that so that you can fit the need that no one else does, and say it in your mission statement, and offer a unique value proposition so people know why they're giving money to you. I have a lot of optimism in what I do. And I think I graduated in 1995 from the University of Oxford, right? At a point when sustainability, I did environmental sustainability, was a dirty word, right? A joke I sometimes tell is that when I first graduated, there's anyway, a teacher, I felt like a teacher standing up in a room, a psychology teacher, and says, "Who in this room feels like an idiot?" And no one stands up. And after a little while, little Johnny stands up, and she says, "Well, do you feel like an idiot?" And he says, "No, but I didn't want you to be the only one in the room standing." And I felt like a lone voice talking about environmental sustainability in a business school. And things have changed. They've changed hugely. And so now what? We're seeing convergence. I don't know if you know the Dove campaign for Real Beauty. And I thought I'd spend a couple of minutes showing you the ad, but it's an amazing ad. And at that point, when the ad came out, I don't know if you know it, but it was the most successful viral campaign ad out there. And what it shows is, actually it was the photographer's or the filmmaker's girlfriend, just an average woman who got on the set and they did her hair, her makeup, and then they did some visual manipulation, photographic. She looked like a supermodel. And what it does is it gives self-esteem back to young women. And that's what Dove Campaign for Real Beauty has done. And it's helped their product. I'm not going to debate their product, but it does help us realize that we can do something more. So I have optimism because I do think that the not-for-profit and the for-profit sector are becoming more aligned. But I also have optimism because of today's youth. So I teach at the Ivey Business School, and I have a couple of my students here right now. And I teach a sustainability course. And I've been teaching this for about 6 years, and the shift in attention to these issues is mind-blowing. I don't know what's happened in the last 6 years, but the youth today see the world differently. And it really is it's inspiring. And so this is the end of my talk, but instead of applauding me, what I'd like to ask is all the people who are 21 or younger, stand up and let's applaud them because they are our future. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you for being such a passionate voice for what is. It's not what we dream of, it's what is now. And the power and potential of what Dr. Bansal is talking about, there's just more. So thank you very, very much. Part of what you've done is you've just validated the vision of what Pillar hoped could be, which is to work in collaboration with business and with government. And so thank you for showing us that it really is happening. Now we get to move into the awards. So all of you people that are waiting to find out who is going to be the recipients, the time is now. And what I do want to say is that, you know, the scope and range of the nominations this year and our finalists, like the depth and the creativity and the commitment to not only their particular issue, but this community is powerful. And so tonight we're taking a moment, a pause, and it's something I advocate to the world. So many people that I work with, it's like just pause and celebrate. And that's what tonight is. We do want to also acknowledge the efforts of the people that chose to nominate these finalists and award recipients. And in fact, you know, the quality of the nominations was outstanding this year. The depth of what was commented on, but also how well presented they were. So nominators, you know who you are. Please stand so we can recognize you for taking this time. We'll talk a little bit more about the tag by kindness, but nominators, you tagged with kindness, so thank you. And I just want to say that each of our recipients of the award winners tonight will be receiving $2,500 that will be directed back to their charity of choice. So that's one way of tangibly recognizing their efforts. And of course, they will be receiving an award. And I'm not even going to go near them because I'm not allowed to touch them yet. But I do want to recognize the artistic creativity of Richard Sturgeon from Metal Infusion, who designed each of the awards. And when they are handed out, you'll be able to get a good glimpse of them. And they are brilliant and stunning. The thing that we do need to do is recognize again the role that our sponsors have played. And so I would at this time like to invite the Platinum sponsor to come forward and give us a little bit of, you know, why it is that Libro Financial Group has chosen to really invest and engage with Pillar. So Jack Smith, would you please come and tell us your story?
My name is Michelle Crook. I am Libro, and this is the life I own. This is my fourth city in the country. Life's changing here, but we roll with it. This is my business partner and my best friend. These guys inspire me, and so do their friends. Country Paws is a dog resort. We serve yogurt treats. Okay, it's different, but 13 years in, we have a second resort in Kitchener, a new line of pet treats and retail outlets. Different appears to work, unless you're a bank. When we showed our business plan to a bank, they didn't get it. So we found someone who did. Meet our Libro coach. Before we built our life, I never thought personal banking was important. I've learned different. Now I am Libro, and you can be too.
Personal stories, banking, and investments. Even a shot at up to $10,000, all at Libro.ca. It's your life. Own it. Be Libro.
Well, thank you very much, and I find your talk very interesting, Dr. Bencel, because when I listen to that, I find myself thinking about Libro being kind of in the two worlds, if you like, because we are a business, we're a financial services business, and there's a fierce competition in the financial services business. But at the same time, we're a cooperative, and as a cooperative, we share many of the values that the not-for-profit sector has. So we had a real challenge in the past number of years. We've created a lot of market awareness, and probably you've seen that. This year, the ads you've seen is really about trying to bring the message around what our brand is all about, and it's a difficult message to bring, but I think the ads are very effective, and they're real people, they're real owners that deal with us, and they're very enthusiastic and participating in that. So tonight, certainly, it's my pleasure to celebrate with you the best and brightest of the community not-for-profit sector, and we were delighted to be the Platinum sponsor in that. So we can help shine a light on the efforts that everybody makes here to make our communities a better place to live, to work, and to play. So welcome to what promises to be, I think, a great night that certainly will inspire all of us. The rewards really, recognize the essential roles for not-for-profit organizations that they play in the community, and the essential role that individuals and other organizations play in the not-for-profits, because that's what we do. We all have a vested interest in, supporting the kind of works that makes our local community just a better place and a more vibrant place. And certainly in today's economic environment, I think we need that even more so. We've been a part, Libero Financial Group, of the community for the past 60 years. We're proud to be a local financial institution that has deep roots in southwestern Ontario. And one of our values is around mutual success, and that we live every day. We commit ourselves to your family and businesses. And we know, you talked about sustainability, we know true sustainability includes financial health. Libero is only successful when the people and the businesses in southwestern Ontario are thriving as well. So we provide a lot of support and advice to the members of our communities, and everyone is free to be a part of that. We provide practical advice and solutions, but we do it in a very cooperative approach with both business and financial advice. You can certainly count on us to help you own your life, and you see that slogan repeated consistently. We're also actively involved in communities where we operate by giving a community builder grant programs. And Michelle, you're talking about community builders, and our program is called the Community Builder Grant Program. And it's really a focus on youth and helping young people develop leadership skills through participation in community development activities. So we're in the fourth year of that program, and we're really amazed by the quality of the applications that we do get. Over this year, we're donating some $200,000 in projects that range from new playgrounds and parks to programs that will teach kids gardening and just a love for reading. The projects we select require that each young person is really involved in the decision making, and we want them to help to develop leadership skills and self-confidence. So actually this morning, right here in the Convention Center, we announced our 2009 grant recipients. If you want more information on that, it's on libero.ca. Feel free to go there. And for next year, for those interested, applications deadline will be March 2010. So in closing, I'm sure we're all inspired, but what we see in here tonight to do even more to make sure that our community is prosperous and vibrant and a place we call home. And I want to congratulate all of tonight's nominees for the role that you're playing in our community and by supporting the work for the not-for-profit organizations. And to Pillar, congratulations on a great awards program. Thank you very much.
So our first category for the awards is for the Community Innovation Award. The three finalists for this award are true sparks for innovation within our community. They apply ingenuity, creativity, and resourcefulness, and they have set a new standard for their area of service. All three serve as role models for improving the quality of life in London. The selection committee is proud to recognize this inspiring group of people. So let's hear their stories.
The nominees for Community Innovation are Advocacy Through Action, students bringing psychology to our community. Fairy Godmother Project. Special Olympics London.
People in the London community have minimal access to good psychological and mental health services, and it's particularly problematic for people who are suffering from mild to moderate difficulties, anxiety and depression. And the students came to observe that really what was needed was good information out there that could be put in people's hands that would help them use their resources, their own resources, to nip problems in the bud before they started to snowball.
We're a group of clinical psychology graduate students at the University of Western Ontario here, And what we did is we put on a series at the London Public Library this February for Psychology Month.
I think that we recognized that we had some gifts to give back to the community, but it was a matter of figuring out how best to give that back.
I mean, our program it's really different from other programs. It's scientist practitioner, so just bringing the research to the community is something that we can do, I think, uniquely.
And I think it was really exciting and rewarding for us as well to be able to see that the information that we're learning here and the research that we're doing is actually important to people out there in the community by the reception that we got from these talks.
So it wasn't just the application of our research that we were bringing, but just the knowledge itself that we were able. How do you understand, human nature, human behavior in order to understand yourself better, your family better, your interactions with your friends and colleagues, and et cetera, et cetera.
I think one of the reasons that it does inspire other people is that if a group of really busy students can somehow manage to fit this into their schedules, then I think anybody can be able to fit this into their schedules.
It really comes down to every individual and every agency in all different fields has gifts and has knowledge to give back to the community. So one of the things that we're really proud of is we got together and we found a format that we could do that.
The Fairy Godmother Project had several goals. Amongst them was to encourage people to get involved in their community. This gives confidence and motivates people to continue to volunteer in the community. I've heard the many stories from women presenting their projects, and it is moving to see how they are so pleased with their accomplishment and personally touched by their experience with others. I think it's important to recognize initiatives like this in the community. Fairy Godmother projects are a testament to initiative, volunteering, and creativity that is used to better our city in numerous ways.
The idea was to inspire women to do something in the community, and a lot of people think that it's really difficult, so they don't really start. So we thought something really simple. So what we did was gave out $100 bills to 5 different people. And with the challenge, please do something wonderful in the community and then come back and tell us what you did. The women came back in the spring of 2004 and they told amazing stories about what they had done with this $100. So the $100 is really seed money, and it sort of inspires people to get moving and do something. When I see how it transforms the women themselves, that's huge. They're quite emotional. They get connected with their project and with the people, and they love what they're doing. If you have fun with what you're doing, you're going to keep doing it, and it's going to be successful. Whether it makes a lot of money or a little bit of money, you've touched the lives of other people, and you've encouraged them, and I think that's really what's behind the Fairy Godmother projects, is to encourage the Fairy Godmothers, let the people out there know that there are people who care for them a lot, even the little guy who doesn't get noticed very much.
Special Olympics' mission is through sport to enrich the lives of individuals with intellectual disabilities. However, they provided training on speech writing and public speaking, and that enabled these people to go out and advocate for themselves and on behalf of Special Olympics. I think you just have to attend one of those events and see the athletes speak. It was very inspiring, though, to see our speaker get a standing ovation from the whole crowd. You don't see that very often at a charity dinner.
I like teaching people about Special Olympics and to show that anyone can be a good speaker.
Regardless of whether you have an intellectual disability or not, the idea of getting up in front of a large crowd of people and giving a speech can be somewhat daunting. So, in light of that, we recognize that anyone would want to be trained before they would be able to do that. So we brought in Toastmasters, a representative from Toastmasters, who trained our athletes in the art of writing and delivering speeches. Our athletes worked with a mentor who was able to help them with any questions or challenges they may have had through the learning process, and now they're out there delivering speeches throughout the community. We challenged the notion that individuals with an intellectual disability would be unable to deliver speeches in front of large groups of people.
I can tell my own stories. I love to talk about the sports I play, even about the Wednesday 4 in the morning field trips.
I think it's important for any organization to look within itself and find its strengths. Certainly that is what we did with Special Olympics. We recognized that our strength was our athletes, and we've trained them to go out and share their stories, and for us, that was using a resource that we already had.
We prove we all have an important role.
Well, again, you can see the diversity and the passion, and there's so much here. And it is time to hear who is the recipient of this award. So, Jack, could you please come to the stage to do the presentation? As they say, the envelope.
I've always wanted to do that. Is there a drum roll or something going on? So the award winner is for innovation, the Fairy Godmother Project.
What an honor. Thank you so much. I just really need to acknowledge the wonderful businesses in London that have surrounded the Fairy Godmother Project. So many of you have donated funds, space, products. It's just been amazing. And of course, the Fairy Godmothers, we've sent out over 100 Fairy Godmothers. I'm all nervous here. This is wonderful. Anyway, we've given out about $10,000 in $100 increments, and they've turned it into well over 100,000 back to the community. So. And I really have to thank my trusted advisors, Wilda Thomas, Sandy Stride, Linda Lustens, for their guidance. It's been great. And thank you.
Once upon a time, I was a fairy godmother. Yeah, so I know it well. Congratulations, Diane. So our second award is the Community Leadership Award. And while all three of our finalists reflect a diverse range of leadership and exceptional achievement, they are all role models who share a dedication to the sector. And they definitely have a passion for their work and a commitment to improving this community. Each of these leaders displays integrity and distinction. All three are inspirations to others, re-energizing their sector by encouraging support for the nonprofits that they serve. And let's hear their stories as well.
The nominees for community leadership are Mary Claire Billick, Donald Dehaney, Barb McQuarrie.
Right from the start, Marie Claire's idea was positive team building, to get people to know each other, to start some positive projects that would bring the community together and that would focus on things we could do to change the neighborhood in a good way. By also getting us to appreciate our heritage, this has created the real inspiration to start thinking about where we want Soho to go in the future.
Well, about 2 years ago, there was a big meeting down the street at a church, and so many people turned out, and they were just really stressed out about all the struggle with drugs in particular in this area. Basically what I saw at that meeting was a whole bunch of people very concerned about a really special neighborhood. From there, I suggested that we start a community group and start focusing on all the positive things in our neighborhood. The biggest thing that I do is, one, inspire people to see the area differently, and two is bring people together and make connections. I love bringing people together, drawing out their talents and their gifts and encouraging them to like commune with other people, and you just don't know what's going to happen. I guess I'm a bit of a mad scientist that way. I like to bring people together and see what's going to happen, and so just building really positive relationships between our neighborhood and outside organizations, as well as, you know, connections within the community. I guess my biggest piece of advice would be to focus on the positives. It's true that sometimes you really do have to take a hard look at the challenges, but in general, to really try and have fun doing what you're doing, because when you focus on the positives, it's very effective, and it is just a lot of fun. It gives people a lot of energy to see something really positive happening instead of being more in an embattled sort of mindset.
For the past 20 years, Donald's been volunteering his time in the non-for-profit community to inform and educate the public about sexual abuse and sexual assault against women, men, and children. Well, he motivates me to become much more aware socially of what's going on in my community, and he does this by linking social causes with the arts community. He raises awareness and he raises funds for social causes and for that non-profit organization, but he also provides an entertaining evening for people, whether it's a lip sync contest or it's a musical. His energy and enthusiasm is infectious. So he not only does he motivate me, he motivates others to become aware and become involved.
What I like to do is I like to work with a lot of different organizations and work combining different groups. I think it's a tightrope that you're walking when you follow any leader, because every leader is human and has faults. And so I think that leaders have a large responsibility to the people that they represent, and being aware that young people and all kinds of people in the community are looking up to you and your example. Respect the organizations that you are in, and never, be careful how you talk about organizations, respect privacy, and keep a principled example. And I think that would really go a long ways in setting the bar high. I think that I'm a role model for people who everyone says you can't do it, because I was a very quiet person, very shy, introverted, and now I'm an extroverted introvert. And I think that I'm an example for people that don't ever let anyone say you can't do anything, because I've done quite a lot, and if I had listened to those no-sayers, I wouldn't have achieved anything. So I think that if we use adversity and people aren't going to say things that aren't going to be positive, show them like I've showed them, and the sky's the limit on possibilities.
Barb McQuarrie has been working in the violence against women sector for a number of years. The work, her commitment, her dedication to that issue has led to the development of tools and training and strategies that's helped organizations like Sexual Assault Centre London, like the City of London, and many other corporations to end workplace violence. What she has accomplished is extremely important and is of value to you, to me, and to our community.
I think that maybe the way I've had a positive impact in the community is by supporting others who had something to offer, by helping them to find ways to work on issues that were important to them, by finding ways to help them give voice to their experiences. Sometimes I'm surprised when people come back to me and share what they're doing, share where they've been, and they will say, this started when we had this conversation, or this started when we did this project together, or this started when you asked me to do this little bit of research. So it's really about not giving up, about seeing something as being important. It's about being, I think, motivated by the experiences and stories of people that you really care about. I think maybe what I have to share with others in terms of leadership style is that leadership is really a lot of